Welcome to the Where's Your Money podcast. No bullshit, no excuses, just straightforward financial strategies. I'm Andy, a proud Coast Guard veteran who took control of my financial future and stepped away from the traditional path at 34 years old. Each week we challenge financial norms and share practical strategies and wisdom to help you break free from the paycheck-to-paycheck cycle and achieve financial independence. If you are tired of working hard yet feeling like you're stuck in the same place and you are ready to break free from the financial limitations holding you back, then don't just sit there. Take action. Subscribe to my channel because your financial transformation begins now. Let's get it. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Where's Your Money podcast. I'm Andy, and this is episode 6. Let's talk about debt, how to get out of it, and just as important, how to stay out of it. Now, I'm not a guru or any kind of expert, and I'm not here to sell you a dream. I've just been broke. I've been buried in debt. I've had no savings, and I've lived that horrible life of living paycheck to paycheck. And since that point in my life, I have made a complete 360 shift. I have reached financial independence and I have regained my freedom at the age of 34. Today's episode is really personal to me because I want you to recognize that you are not alone. If you are dealing with debt or you're carrying the weight of past financial decisions, I do see you, and I know how heavy that burden can feel and how it creeps into your peace of mind, your relationships, and your sense of worth. But you're still not broken, and you're not beyond help. You're just human. And this conversation isn't about shame. It's about healing, learning, and moving forward together. For me, it took going through one of the hardest chapters of my life to finally start doing something about it. I spent 13 years in the Coast Guard. Structure, routine, discipline. All the stuff that forces you to grow up and operate with some order in your life. But even with all of that structure, no one teaches you how to handle money. Not school, not work. You learn the hard way like everyone else. I was living okay, just getting by paycheck to paycheck, figuring it out as I went through life. Everything in my life at that point in time relied on me being physically able to go to work. And if I were to guess, that's probably the life you're living right now as well. If I couldn't show up, guess what? We wouldn't get paid. There were no backups, there was no passive income streams, no savings, and we were buried in debt. Does that sound familiar? I had plenty of that. The hardest question that I've ever had to ask myself was, if I die tomorrow, what happens to my family? I don't know about you, but I didn't really like the answer that I had for myself. So I want to talk about debt from a place of experience, not just strategy, but mindset. Because if you're listening to this, there's a good chance you're carrying some kind of debt like I had. Maybe it's credit cards, maybe it's a car loan, maybe it's just the weight of bills that don't stop coming in. Here's what I want to unpack today. What got me into debt, what got me out of it, and the steps I took to make sure that I never went back. Yes, there's a logical and practical part to this, the snowball method, budgeting, all of that. But honestly, it starts in your head. Mentally, it starts with deciding that you are done living paycheck to paycheck. You have to decide that life that you're living is no longer an option and that you're taking full control of that situation today. One big part of my life that allowed me to climb out of debt was scripture, something that went much deeper than numbers. Now listen, I don't care if you grew up in a church or you've never cracked a Bible open. This right here is practical wisdom that applies to everyone regardless of their faith. Romans 13:8 says, "Let no debt remain outstanding except the continuing debt to love one another." And then Proverbs 22:7 cuts even deeper. The borrower is slave to the lender. That's exactly how it feels when you are constantly buried in debt. You don't feel free. You feel owned, making payments to banks and credit card companies with money that you haven't even earned yet. Do you feel that? That's not what we call freedom. That's what we call modern slavery. I didn't want to be a slave anymore. I wanted to own my time, own my decisions, provide for my family without handing my check to 5 different companies before I even had a chance to see it. So if you're listening to this, just know, wanting out of debt isn't just smart, it's righteous. You're not greedy for wanting freedom. You're not crazy for being tired of the grind. That desire in you, that's God nudging you toward a better way. Here's the honest truth about debt. Debt steals your freedom. I don't care if your payments are what you would consider affordable or that your interest rates aren't that bad. If you owe somebody money, you are not free, period. You will always be making decisions based on what you owe, not based on what you want to do. For me, I had credit card balances, student loans, car payments with negative equity built up to the max, and little bills that piled up because I kept saying I'll handle that later. I was still showing up to work, still getting paid every 2 weeks, but I never saw that money. It was gone before it even hit my bank account. But it's not just about the money. That debt was wrecking me emotionally. I'd wake up anxious. I couldn't sleep at night. Couldn't think straight some days because I was so stressed out about my finances and living day to day. I thought that was what we considered normal. But no, this has been a lie that we've been fed. The truth is, debt is not normal. It's a trap. And if you don't actively dig your way out, it'll keep you stuck until the day you die. So, what did I do wrong that led me to being stuck in the paycheck to paycheck cycle? Because maybe some of you will recognize this in your own life. The first mistake I made was buying a brand new car. Not because I was trying to impress anyone, that wasn't it. I just wanted the new features, the technology, the comfort, the conveniences new cars had to offer. A backup camera, Bluetooth, leather seats, Apple CarPlay, heated seats, things that I convinced myself were necessary, but really I just wanted them. And for whatever reason, this seems to be one of the first moves people make once they start earning what they feel like is decent money. Does that sound familiar to you? You finally have a steady paycheck and suddenly buying a new car feels like the thing to do. Like it's proof you've made progress and have a good paying job. That's exactly how I felt. But once you get that new car, suddenly you get bored and you want something newer, something shinier. You crave that new car smell. So, another upgrade it is. I felt the same way. But every time I swapped out for a new car, I had to roll the negative equity from the old loan into the new one, over and over and over again. That pattern not only destroyed my credit, but my monthly payments began to balloon. I was always upside down, always owing more than the car was even fucking worth. And the worst part was, I thought I was doing the smart thing. I told myself, well, I need a reliable car, or I can afford the payment, so what's the issue? But all I was doing was stacking bad decisions on top of bad decisions. No plan, no pause, just chasing the next upgrade and digging myself in deeper each time. The second mistake that I made was using credit cards to make purchases. Most of the time, I wasn't buying dumb stuff for myself. It was things like birthday gifts, anniversaries, holidays, like getting something nice for my wife because I wanted her to feel appreciated, like I put in some fucking effort. But the reality was, I didn't plan ahead. I didn't save for those moments. So when they came around, I'd be staring at my account thinking if I drop $600 on this gift, I'm going to have almost nothing left afterwards. And that feeling, seeing your bank account drop to nearly zero, would have me feeling broke. So I would put it on a credit card instead. That way, I could get the gift, still feel like I was showing up, and I didn't have to feel the panic of watching my account drain. I could tell myself it's fine, I'll pay it off over time, it's only $40 a month. But if we're being honest with ourselves, if you're putting something like a birthday gift or an anniversary gift on a credit card just to avoid seeing your balance drop to zero, then odds are you are as broke as you feel. You are not solving a problem. You are just postponing the discomfort. And the worst part, a couple years down the line, you're still chipping away at that same fucking credit card balance, wondering why is it so damn high? You won't even remember what you bought. That anniversary gift, that dinner, long fucking gone. But the payment is still there, still dragging you down month after month. That's when it really hits you. You didn't just buy a moment, you bought a financial burden that stuck around way longer than the memory itself. This is what we call being unprepared. If I had just set aside a little money every single month, like $50 or even $25, these moments wouldn't have hit me so hard. I wouldn't have had to choose between draining my fucking bank account or racking up more debt. But I didn't do that. I just kept reacting instead of planning, and the credit card became my crutch. And that pattern, that avoidance, it adds up faster than you would imagine. And third, this is the biggest mistake right here. I had no financial goals. I wasn't budgeting, I wasn't planning, I was just existing, dealing with whatever was right in front of me, one paycheck at a time. I'd get paid and the money would be gone almost instantly. A bill here, a payment there, a quick grocery run, maybe dinner out, and suddenly I was right back on the next check. I didn't know where my money was going because I wasn't tracking a damn thing. I wasn't saving. I wasn't building towards anything. There was no system. There was no strategy. No real thought behind it. Just reacting. Just trying to stay afloat. And the scariest part, I didn't even realize how bad it was because there was nothing to compare it to. I had no plan, so I had no standard. No budget to show me where I was leaking money. No goals to remind me that I was stuck. I could lie to myself and tell myself, you're fine, you're managing, you're making it work, but I wasn't really managing. I was more like surviving. When you live like that long enough, you stop thinking it's temporary. You start accepting it. You start calling it normal. You tell yourself this is just life. This is what adulthood looks like. But it's not. That kind of drift, no direction, no intention, is exactly what kept me stuck. It wasn't one big mistake. It was that slow, quiet spiral of never checking in with myself, never making a plan, never setting boundaries with my own money. And what got me out of it, I wasn't financially irresponsible in some reckless, wild spending way. I was financially passive. And that kind of passivity is dangerous because it feels easier than facing the truth. But it'll cost you way more in the long run. And eventually that cost will catch up with you, as it did for me. When my first wife passed, everything shifted. That was my wake-up call. I realized I was the only plan. No backup, no life insurance payout coming, just me and whatever money I could scrape together. I couldn't keep living my life reacting to everything. I had to build something sustainable, and I had to do it now. Here's exactly how I climbed out of it. Number one, I took inventory. I pulled out every single bill, every statement, every account. It was ugly. I'm talking credit cards, old medical bills, student loans, 2 car loans. I was easily surpassing $75,000 worth of debt, but I wrote it all down. Interest rates, minimums, the balances. I needed to physically see it with my own eyes because you can't fight what you're not willing to face. I simplified the hell out of my life. I stopped caring about keeping up with appearances. I sold stuff that I didn't need. I stopped eating out. I cut my expenses and began living below my means. I didn't care what anyone thought of me. I cared about my freedom more than I cared about looking like I had money. And then I attacked that debt. And I attacked that shit hard as fuck. I used the debt snowball method because I needed to feel progress. Here's how it works if you don't know. You list out your debts from smallest to largest balance. You keep paying the minimums on everything except for the smallest debt. You throw every extra dollar at that one debt until it is gone. And then you take the payment you were using and roll it into the next one. Boom! Momentum. I paid off $1,000 student loans first, then a $3,000 one, then a $5,000 one, and each time I got a little more fire in me. It felt like hope again, like maybe I could actually do this. I built a cushion. After I eliminated the debt, I built an emergency fund. No more getting wrecked by surprise car repairs or random bills. And then, once that emergency fund was built, I started investing. I started building passive income streams because I didn't want my family to only survive if I was clocking into work every day. And now, thanks to that, we have hit financial independence. We no longer have to work. We choose to. We manage businesses. We still put in the effort, but everything we do now is on our time. We don't wake up to alarms we hate. We don't report to bosses. We don't take on work out of desperation. We build, we create, we operate, but we do it from a place of peace, not pressure. That's the win. That's the reward for all those nights we said no to stuff we wanted in the moment to say yes to the life we're living now. This isn't about being rich. This is about being free. The kind of freedom that lets you slow down. Be present, think clearly, move intentionally, the kind of free that gives you your life back. Let me say this to you as clearly as I can. You are not stuck forever. I know it feels like you're stuck forever. I know the weight of it, but you're not. It's going to be uncomfortable. You'll have to unlearn some things. You'll have to make sacrifices. You will tell yourself no when it would be better to say yes. But if you stay with it, if you stay consistent, the other side is worth it. It's calm, it's quiet, it's not flashy, but it's peaceful. It's being able to breathe again. And trust me, that alone is life-changing. So here's your money move of the week. Take 15 minutes to sit down and ask yourself the question. What's the next financial fire I can already see coming? It could be your kid's birthday, an anniversary, back to school shopping, annual car registration, maybe it's Christmas. That root canal you've always been avoiding. Whatever it is, name it, write it down, and then start saving for it right now. Don't wait until it's a crisis. Don't swipe your card and figure it out later. Don't hope it works out. Create a mini sinking fund. Even if it's $25 a week, start stacking now. Because once you see it coming, it's no longer an emergency. It's just a bill that you plan for. This is how you stop the cycle. Not with huge dramatic moves, but with small intentional ones that you actually follow through on. All right, that's it for this week. Debt is heavy, but you don't have to carry it forever. If I can dig myself out after everything life threw at me, I promise you can too. It just takes honesty, consistency, and one step at a time. Next week, we're going to dig and dive into something that's going to shift how you think about wealth. Investing for impact. We're talking about building passive income streams that don't just fill your pockets, they fulfill your purpose. I'm going to break down exactly how we built wealth with a deeper mission and how you can start investing in things that align with your values. And trust me, you don't need to start with a ton of cash to make this work. If today's episode resonated with you, share it with someone who needs to hear this. And if you want to connect or talk more about your journey, find me on Instagram at the Where's Your Money's podcast. I'd love to hear from you. Take care of your money, and your money will take care of you. Take care.